Hey folks, welcome back. It's LarryRedd. Sorry I've been gone for a while. Haven't had a lot of time to read, but book club I'm in voted uh, on the next book we were going to read, and what they chose is the book that I'm going to be reviewing today. It's called The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Not the book I voted for. It's like a thriller mystery, not really the kind of book that I like reading that often, but it's always good to expand your horizons. So I was excited to read it. It's pretty short, pretty quick to get through, which is one of the things I liked about it. Just it keeps going. The plot moves really quickly. A pretty good, like it's a solid mystery. Like if Agatha Christie had written it, I'd be a little disappointed, but you know, for just like, you know, a random author, not that Alex Michaelides is a random author, he's a very successful author. His first book, The Silent Patient, I haven't read, but I know got very good reviews. But like I was saying, if Agatha Christie wrote this, I'd say it'd be like in the bottom 25% of Agatha Christie books. But since Alex Michaelides has only written two books, this is actually probably in his top two. Um, anyways, all kidding aside, let me tell you what I thought about this book. Um, I want to say that I liked it. I want to say that I liked it, so I will. I liked it overall, but there were parts that I didn't like. Wow, that's really insightful. Let me get into it a little more. I'll start with what I liked. I liked that it moved fast. I like the setting. It takes place in Cambridge, in England. I like books that take place in England. I'm a bit of an Anglophile. Not too much though. Not the bad stuff England did. But I don't know. I like the setting. It takes place in Cambridge. I guess I should tell you like what the premise is. It's about this woman named Mariana Andros, uh, who her husband Sebastian has like just died. Not just died, like a year ago, and she's really grieving. She's a group therapist, so she knows a lot about grief. A lot of this book is about, talking about therapy and the power of therapy and stuff like that, on mental health and all that good stuff. She's a therapist, and then she has a niece named Zoe, and Zoe goes to Cambridge University, which is where Mariana went. And at Cambridge University, there has been a murder. Not good, actually. I shouldn't smile, but there's been a murder of Zoe's best friend Tara, and Tara is a member of like this sort of secret society called the Maidens. And the Maidens, it's like this sort of little club held by a professor there named Edward Fosca. He's a professor of Greek mythology and like classical, Greek tragedy, stuff like that. And he sort of has this aura around him as being like this amazing professor. He's handsome, he's smart, he's really got it all. Uh, but but yeah, he has this group of students called the Maidens. It's like these eight women, young women, who are all like in a special club that he sort of has like special meetings with, and gives them a lot of special attention. Um, but it turns out he might be a murderer. Yeah, or at least Mariana thinks so. So one of the maidens, Tara, who's Zoe's friend, who is Mariana's niece. There's a lot of characters in this book that sort of just come around. It's sort of a complicated net of characters, but um, Mariana becomes convinced pretty quickly as she goes to help sort of comfort her niece, who just lost her best friend, that Edward Fosca is behind these murders. So the book is really about solving these murders, and then more people get murdered, and the more people who get murdered, the more Mariana starts thinking this guy Edward Fosca, he's the murderer, folks. So yeah, that's sort of the mystery at the center of it, and part of the reason I like the book is just the pacing. Um, Whenever it seems like you're getting a little bored, boom, more murder. Um, More crazy things happen. Mariana has a very interesting life. Like I said, a lot of it is about grief about her husband, and then everything sort of gets shaken up again with all these murders and just a lot of trauma. So yeah, that's what I liked about the book. What did I not like about the book? Well, it felt like it was just very unrealistic, which is fine, but like things just sort of happen like randomly. Like Mariana is like investigating this murder, and she's like convinced that this guy Edward Fosca did it, and like she has pretty good evidence of it, and at least evidence that like something very fishy is going on with him, and just like the people in charge, the inspector, maybe things work differently in England with the police, but like the inspector just like doesn't do anything, and then Mariana is just like investigating Edward herself, um, and like getting and like talking to him. It's just very odd. Like it just doesn't nothing really makes sense in this book, at least to me. Maybe I'm too silly to understand it. Uh, but things just sort of happen randomly. Like there's also a lot of like random subplots with Mariana. Like she is grieving with her husband, and then there's like other guys who are always trying to suit her. Uh, like there's this guy Fred, who's kind of a interesting guy who's always like he's just kind of annoying, always trying to like woo Mariana. Um, and yeah, she has like this guy Henry, who's a member of who she's like a therapist for, who's also sort of like an antagonist in this book, who's always sort of like stalking her. There's just a lot of random sort of parts that are going into it, and maybe if I was a better reader, I would like notice that there's some sort of common theme, like weaving this all together. Personally, I don't see it, so either I'm like really stupid, or there's just nothing there. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's my issue with it. Like, there's just a lot of random stuff that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then my other big issue with the book is like the ending. Um, when everything's revealed, I don't know. It was like a bad ending to an Agatha Christie novel. Like, Agatha Christie has some really, really amazing endings. She also has a few that aren't so great. And this sort of reminded me of some of them that aren't so great. Like, it felt like Alex Michaelides like didn't really know how to end it, so he sort of just found the most shocking possible way to end it without sort of any regard for like whether that makes sense for the characters or whether that sort of adds to any sort of theme or greater meaning for the novel. It just sort of seemed to be there to shock the reader. And I mean, to be fair, it did shock me, I guess, like a little, but like once you get over that initial shock, it just seems sort of meaningless and stupid. I don't want to be too harsh because, like I said, I like this book. I think if you like mysteries or thrillers, you should read this. I think you should probably read his first book, The Silent Patient, which sounded like really interesting. I actually might want to read that because I do like his style of writing. I just don't know if I liked this specific book. So I'm gonna try reading The Silent Patient. That one sounds really cool. It's about like, from what I've heard, it's about like this woman who is married to like this. I don't know if she's a famous artist. I don't know. She has like someone's a famous artist. And like one day she like her husband comes home and she like shoots him, and then after that she like won't talk. That's why it's called The Silent Patient. So like part of the book is like trying to figure out why she did this, but she won't speak. See, like that sounds like a really interesting book. And I like Alex's sort of style of writing. Like it was a really quick read, like I said. You can sort of get through it really quick. So I might try that book, The Silent Patient. But yeah, this one it just didn't really do it for me. It didn't feel like there was any sort of meaning behind the plot. Like, and that's okay, right? I mean, you could just have a book that's fun, but I don't know. I just didn't really feel like a major investment with the characters. I think Mariana was fleshed out a decent amount, but like everything just was very tropey. Like with a lot of the characters. Everyone was sort of like a cliche, uh, especially sort of all the characters, like all the sort of characters around her. Like Edward Fosca is like straight out of like is just so cliche. Like he's like this handsome, mysterious, like literary professor kind of guy, and like it just I don't know, like obvious like male manipulator person. It just didn't really work for me. And like I said, the ending was just sort of disappointing and it's kind of just disrespectful to like the characters in my opinion, which sounds weird. I mean, obviously he's the author, he can do whatever he wants, but I wasn't satisfied with it. But yeah, despite all that, I would still recommend the book just because I think it's fun, and I guess if you're into mysteries and you want something quick to read, it's good. But I guess without even reading it, I would recommend his other book, his debut novel, The Silent Patient. But yeah, I guess before I go, I'll give you guys a rating. Uh, I can't bring myself to give this like a 3.5 out of 5. Because, like, I don't know, it was like a 3.5 out of 5 up to the very end, which kind of brought it down to a 3 out of 5. I'll give it a 3 out of 5, though. But, like, like, a good 3 out of 5. Like, I don't know, I feel like there's two different ratings. Like, if I wanted to rate it, like, as a book, or as just, like, as a story. Because, like, as a story, actually, no, I think they're both 3 out of 5. Now that I think about it. Yeah, it's just a 3 out of 5 book, which isn't bad, okay? Let me remind you that, in this society where, you know, if your Uber driver gets a 4 out of 5, that's a disaster. 3 out of 5 is not bad, folks, okay? I can't write a 3 out of 5 book. If I wrote a book, it would be a 1 out of 5. So that's all I have to say about that. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully I have some more videos coming out soon. I'm very busy with schooling and watching the NBA playoffs. So have a good one, everyone.